My name is Lisa Walford. I've been teaching in the Los Angeles area since 1982 and was fortunate to be introduced to Mr. Iyengar in 1984 at the first National American Iyengar Yoga Convention in San Francisco. I've been working with Guruji since then, was certified in '86, and have been involved with Iyengar Yoga on a regular basis since then. Okay. As some of you probably know, in Iyengar Yoga, we do use props, both to teach us more about the symmetry of the pose, as well as to, in some other cases, support a body part, if necessary, to facilitate, to help the individual best perform or get the greatest benefit out of the pose. In addition to working with the Iyengar Yoga community, I've also been involved with YogaWorks and have been a major part of their teacher training program over the last 15 years. Okay. So the props that we use both in the Iyengar community, we use blankets for shoulder stand, we use the belts to keep the arms from splaying out so that the body weight can be up on the very, very top of the shoulders, and even the acromion process, so the body can extend vertically. The blankets help us to maintain a natural cervical curve so that there's no potential to overstretch the neck itself. The blankets can be used in 2 blankets, 3 blankets, 4 blankets, depending on an individual's need. And the belt, again, keeps the elbows close enough together so that the elbows remain shoulder width apart, preventing them from widening. If they widen, then the student tends to, the trapezius muscle tends to fall forward, and they end up collapsing the pose. So the blankets are very helpful. I've found the Shiva pillow to be very adaptable, or I adapt it to many of the asanas. Some students, when they have a problem with their knee or stiff hips and they can't release the knee down to the floor, we generally use blankets to support the knee, but the Shiva pillow is much more convenient. The Shiva pillow can adjust to the weight of the individual as well. So the Shiva pillow can be used for that purpose in Bharadvajasana 2. In Bharadvajasana 1, we might use the Shiva pillow underneath the buttock bone so that both hips remain even. Basically, in the Iyengar yoga system, in many cases when we use a blanket to support, we can use the Shiva pillow, and it's much easier to move around. I also use the Shiva pillow for the back knee in Janu Shirshasana and Parivrita Janu Shirshasana. I use it as a support on the shins, where we might use a blanket or a block in Paschimottanasana, Janu Shirshasana, all of the supported forward bends. Personally, I travel with it. I use it not only for my head when I'm in an airplane, but it's fantastic when I drive, to place it in my lower back or my upper back. So I always travel with one. It can be used in Virasana. The Shiva pillow can be used in Virasana for a student with a knee problem. We often use a blanket instead, but the Shiva pillow compresses in such a way and molds to the back of the knee, that it's very tactile. It supports the knee and the tendons of the knee. Okay, I also use the Shiva pillow for supported Adho Mukha Svanasana. We often use a block or a bolster in the Iyengar system for that. In using a block, at times the hard surface of the block is beneficial, but at other times we prefer a soft surface, depending on whether the asana is being used in a restorative sequence, or whether it's being used to support the weight of the spine, support the weight of the body as the neck releases from the thoracic spine. So it has many ways that it can be adapted to the practice. The most obvious way is in Shavasana, when it supports the back of the head and the neck. Okay? And hence we also use it in pranayama. Okay? So there's an ever so slight Janandhara Bandha, meaning that the forehead is slightly higher than the chin. Okay? So we use it for that, or I use it for that in pranayama.